What is up, YouTube? Riley White here, back with another MLB The Show 19 video for you guys. And it's been a little bit since I've made a video. I apologize. I know I keep saying this like every video, but my mic I did order it a little while ago, so I'm trying to like push it back as far as I can until I make another video, just so I could get another mic. But of course, I had to make this video. We are here today predicting the roster update prediction that we will be having this Friday. I guess it will be up. It'll be up tomorrow. The roster update prediction, and this one's kind of different. I'm going to do this one a little differently. All the other ones, usually whenever I have the diamond in the rough players, they could be like commons. They could be bronze players that are just doing well. Usually I have those at the end of the video, and some people might not want to see those. So I'm going to say them at the start of the video just to get through it a little bit. And just kind of like tell you guys some of the lower guys that are actually doing really well. So the first player that I'm actually going to talk about is a player from the Texas Rangers, and he has been going off so far this year. If I can get to it pretty quick here. I can't even remember what his overall is. Yeah, 74. Hunter Pence. This guy has been amazing this year. He's 35 years old. The San Francisco Giants last year wrote him off. They said, "You know what? You're probably done. Like you've had your career. You're not going to be a player anymore. You're not going to like be successful like you once were." Hunter Pence used to be a pretty good player back in his early years with the Giants. He had some good years with the Astros and the Phillies before that. But he's 35 years old. I mean, a lot of people didn't really expect him to be having the year that he is having so far. But so far this year, he's actually doing really, really well. So far, he has a .304 batting average. He has 11 home runs. I believe he is playing a lot of DH. He has hardly played in the outfield. I mean, his legs can't really... I don't know. I mean, he's 35 years old. The Rangers have a lot of outfield positions. So far, he does have 11 home runs to 39 RBIs. He has a .356 on-base percentage, which is a little bit low. I mean, he doesn't walk much, I guess. But I don't think he strikes out too much either. It doesn't show his strikeout rate on here right now. He has a .637 slugging, a .993 OPS. Man, this guy's been doing really, really well. And low-key, he could be an all-star this year. You never know. Obviously, I think Joey Gallo probably gets the nod for the Rangers if he keeps playing as well as he is, unless something drastic happens that he's just not the player he is anymore. But Hunter Pence is doing really, really well, and I think that's something that cannot go unnoticed. The next player we are going to be talking about is 73 overall from the Boston Red Sox, Rafael Devers. This guy's been doing really, really well this year, and low-key it's been under the radar. It was like 2 years ago, I believe, he came into the league. There was a lot of hype around him. He was a top prospect for the Red Sox, that is. And there was a lot of hype around him. He did pretty decent in his rookie year, or I guess I'm not quite sure if 2 years ago was his rookie year or if it was last year. Last year he didn't really play that well. He wasn't really a power hitter. He was horrible in the field. He was not really good at all. This year he has really turned it around and nobody is talking about it. That hints as to why he's only a 73 overall. A lot of people think this guy could definitely be an all-star this year. He is playing really, really well. So far, through 212 at-bats, he has 69 hits, 7 home runs. His power numbers might not be right there, but he has a .325 batting average, 31 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, a .385 on-base percentage, a .505 slugging, and an .889 OPS. This guy's been doing really, really well for the Boston Red Sox so far, which is a team that they kind of had it was a kind of a poor run there at the start of the season, but this year, since then, they've actually definitely boosted up their team. Rafael Devers is a big part of that. He's definitely been coming up clutch for them. I could see that his contact could definitely go up where he's batting .325. I'm not quite sure about his power numbers. He only has 7 home runs, which is still decent. His fielding, I'm not quite sure what his fielding is, like what his defensive WAR is and whatnot. I wish I could go check it right now, but I can't. I'm sure if his fielding can go up a little bit, he could definitely go silver. And like I said, he has 7 stolen bases, so maybe his speed could be boosted a little bit, or even his stealing. I mean, he's stole 7 bases, which is not too bad. And he's kind of a chunky guy. He's not really. He looks like he's kind of a chunky guy. That is. I'm not quite sure, really, but 237 pounds, I guess. But anyways, Rafael Devers has done really, really well, and I definitely think he could go silver for sure. And the last guy in the diamond in the rough category, we are going over to the Cincinnati Reds. First baseman, he's been playing second base mostly because Scooter Gennett has been out. We are going with Derek Dietrich. Now, the only reason I kind of bring this guy up is because of how well he has been doing, particularly against the Pittsburgh Pirates within their own division. They faced the Pirates quite a bit. I can't remember exactly how many home runs he has against them, but he has like 7 or 8 home runs, I believe, against just the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. He just had a 3 home run game against them the other day, and this guy has been doing really, really good in the power category. He's already set a career high in home runs this far into the season. It's not very far into the season, that is. So far this year, he is only batting .262, which isn't great. I mean, that's still a decent average, but it's nothing like to shout anything about. But he does have 17 home runs and 36 RBIs. He has a .368 on-base percentage, so he does walk a pretty decent amount compared to hits. He has a .713 slug and over a 1,000 OPS. This guy has been doing really, really well this year, and I'm not quite sure what the Reds are going to be doing with him once Scooter Gennett comes back, because apparently he is supposed to come back pretty soon. I'm not quite sure if they're going to, they'll definitely try to fit Derek Dietrich in the lineup as how well he's hitting this year, power-wise at least. Man, this guy pimps the home runs whenever he hits them, that's for sure. But I'm not quite sure where he's going to go when Scooter Gennett comes back. I could definitely see him going up, and overall his power numbers could go up. I'm not quite sure about contact. I mean, like I said, he is only batting .262, but his power numbers versus lefties and righties could definitely go up probably. But other than that, I'm not quite sure where he will go. I just thought I'd have to bring him up because of how well he's been batting lately, especially against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Moving on over to silver to gold players, the first player, I actually had this in my the video 2 weeks ago. It's Diego Castillo. This guy's been doing really, really well. I believe if Jose Alvarado was able to go up to a gold, I think Diego Castillo could definitely go gold as well. So far this year, his WAR is .5, which, I mean, as a reliever, that's alright, I guess. He has a 1-3 record, a 2.54 ERA. In 26 games, he has 6 saves. I believe he is 6 for 6 in save opportunities. 28 innings pitched and 34 strikeouts. His WHIP is also over 1,000, or at least over 1 a little bit. Over 1. But yeah, so far Diego Castillo has been doing really, really well out of the pen. Part of that amazing pitching staff that the Rays have so far. I could definitely see his Ks per 9 definitely going up. If he only has 81 Ks per 9, but he has more strikeouts than innings pitched by 6. He has 6 more strikeouts than innings pitched. His Ks per 9 could definitely go up, and I think if his Ks per 9 could go up to at least maybe 90, then he could definitely go gold. He's playing plus 11 today for hits and Ks per 9, but if his Ks per 9 could just go up to like a 90, I could definitely see him going to an 80 overall. I think if Jose Alvarado was able to get there, Diego Castillo definitely could as well. One thing that I know they say is a little cautious between him and Jose Alvarado. Both they're controlled. They throw gas. Both of them. They throw super fast 4-seamers, 2-seamers, and sinkers. I guess Diego Castillo doesn't have a 2-seamer, but his sinker is really, really quick as well. But both of these guys have been lighting it up out of the pen for the Rays. The Rays have one of the best pitching staffs in the league. But Diego Castillo, I could definitely see him going gold. The next player on silver to gold, we're going over the Minnesota Twins, who are currently the hottest team in baseball. They actually have 2 players on this list, and the first player that I'm going to bring up is Jorge Polanco. This guy has been an MVP candidate this year. There's been a couple players from the Minnesota Twins that have been MVP candidates, but Jorge Polanco, shortstop, switch hitter, man, this guy has been amazing so far this year. So far, through 206 at-bats, he has 69 hits, 9 home runs, a .335 batting average, 26 RBIs, 1 stolen base, over a .400 on-base percentage, .583 slugging, and a .988 OPS with a .161 OPS plus. This guy has been amazing this year. I could definitely see his power numbers could definitely go up. He has 58-50. I know he only has 9 home runs, which is still that's still pretty decent. I mean, for 58 and 50 power, I could definitely see his power numbers raise a little bit. His contact should go up for sure. I'm not quite sure about his vision. I'm not really quite sure. I can't really see if he's striking out that much. I know his batting average is 335. He's one of the top in the league. This guy's only 25 years old. He's been the highlight of the Minnesota Twins so far this year. The Twins, I predicted them at the start of the year that I thought that they could beat the Indians in that division. And everyone thought, no, the Indians are going to get 95 wins. They were going to get 90 wins. And sure, maybe if all their players were playing like they should, then maybe they could. But Jose Ramirez has been really bad. Corey Kluber has not been good. Mike Clevenger is out. Trevor Bauer fell off. Lindor was hurt to start the season. So a lot of their good players have just not showed yet. Anyways, but Jorge Polanco, I could definitely see him raising up to a gold MVP candidate. I believe he's third in the American League MVP right now, behind Mike Trout and George Springer, which I don't really agree with. I think he should be ahead of Mike Trout. I don't know why Mike Trout is first in MVP. George Springer, I think, is the American League MVP if the season ended right now. The next player on the silver to gold list, we are still staying in Minnesota. Like I said, there was 2 players on this list, and this guy is Jake Rizzi. This guy has been lights out. I didn't even realize as to see how well he has been doing this year. I knew he was doing really, really good, but I did not realize until I went and checked his stats. So far this year, he has a 2 WAR. I mean, as a pitcher, that's pretty decent. He has a 7-2 win-loss record with a 2.16 ERA. Through 11 games, he has 11 games started, 58 innings pitched, 61 strikeouts, and a .9 WHIP. So far, Jake Rizzi has been a Cy Young candidate, and I'm not exaggerating at all. Jake Rizzi, he's been amazing for the Twins. You thought maybe last year he didn't really have the greatest season. You thought maybe his best years are over. He had a couple decent seasons with the Rays a couple years ago. Pretty big strikeout guy. Decent. I mean, he wasn't amazing. He was still a pretty decent pitcher. But then he comes back this year. He's 29 years old. He's not old, so he can definitely have a couple really, really good years. He's probably in his prime right now, if anything, honestly. I mean, Jake Rizzi has been amazing this year. I could definitely see his Ks and hits per nine. His hits per nine is probably the biggest stat that could definitely go up. He is striking out people at a career high. He's limiting walks at a career high. I can't tell what his walks are for sure, but I know he is limiting walks and hits at a career high. His control and walks per nine could definitely go up. I wish I could tell right now, and I know I should be able to bring it up for you guys with his home runs, how many he's given up and whatnot, but I can't right now. But I'm assuming if his ERA is 2.16 and his WHIP is .9, that he is not giving up that many home runs. So all those stats could definitely go up. I think he could definitely go up to a gold. Jake Rizzi has been amazing this year. A lot of people have yet to been talking about him. But Jake Rizzi has been a pretty big highlight for the Minnesota Twins. We have one player that I do predict to go from gold to diamond, and it is Ronald Acuna Jr., 21-year-old stud for the Atlanta Braves. He has been amazing this year. He was an amazing player last year. So far this year, maybe his batting numbers aren't what we expected. His batting average is .270, which is still pretty good. But for the superstar everyone expected, maybe it's not. I know he's still young. He could definitely get his batting average up, and the season's still young. But what I could see could definitely be going up is his fielding. Recently, they moved Ronald Acuna Jr. from left field to center field. I'm not quite sure what they're doing with Ender Inciarte. I'm not quite sure for the Atlanta Braves, but they moved him from left field to center field. He is an athletic guy. He's still young. He can move quick in the field. So they decided to move him to center instead of left, and he's been really, really well. He's made some diving plays. He's made some really good grabs out there in center field. Just a little bit, like, it's almost as if he needed to be that commander in the outfield. He was kind of lacking that in left, and maybe it was a little bit hard for him to track the ball in left field, which I could definitely see. Left field, there's more pull on the ball, so it's a little harder for people to really track it in the left. Maybe I'm not really quite sure. I didn't really get to play, but I could definitely see Ronald Acuna Jr.'s fielding go up a little bit. If his fielding could go up to like 70, his arm strength, maybe arm accuracy a little bit, he only needs 1 overall. Even if his contact versus right or his power versus right goes up like 4 overall, like 4 ticks or whatever, he could definitely be a diamond. He's already an 84 overall. His stats are really, really good. He's one of the best gold hitters in the game. I could definitely see him going diamond. There's a couple other golds that could go diamond, like Matt Chapman. Sean Doolittle's been doing really well. Anthony Rizzo, a lot of people are talking about him. But I could definitely see Ronald Acuna. That's the only guy that I could see this week. Matt Chapman's batting average is a little low. Anthony Rizzo's batting average is a little low. Sean Doolittle's given up a couple. He's blown a couple saves actually recently, so I'm not quite sure about them guys. Ronald Acuna Jr. is the only guy that I could definitely see going up. So far this year, through 211 at-bats, he has 11 home runs, a 270 batting average, which what I did say that might be a little low. It's still a pretty good batting average. He has 31 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, a 358 on base, a 464 slugging, and an 823 OPS. So far, this guy, he's been really, really good. And honestly, I have yet to see that much talk about him. As big of a hype player as he was last year, he's been having a good season. I just have yet to see a whole lot of, usually whenever I turn on Instagram, like last year, all I seen was Ronald Acuna this, Ronald Acuna that. And he's brought it over to this year, and he's doing really, really well. But I've yet to see that much about him this year, and honestly, I could definitely see him going diamond. That's the one player that I do predict to go to diamond. Now, I do have only one player that I think could go from a diamond down to a gold, and it's Andrew Miller. I had this guy on my list a couple weeks ago. This guy, he's just not like he used to be. I quick sold him. I had him on my team. I quick sold him because I figured he was going to go down last week, but he didn't, or the last update, but he didn't. So I'd still have him on my team, and I think that he could. I still think he's going to go down. I still think he's going to go down to a gold. He's still not doing good so far. So far this year, he actually has a negative WAR, so he's not helping the team at all. The Cardinals have been struggling lately. Like, all their players have been struggling. He has a 2-2 win-loss record as a reliever. He has a 4.19 ERA, which is a little high. Like, I still think that, like, for Andrew Miller, that's not Andrew Miller numbers. I think that's probably the biggest stat that I could see go down. Are probably his hits per 9, his Ks per 9. Actually, his Ks per 9 are doing really well. Through 19 innings pitched, he has 25 strikeouts, which is not bad at all. But so far, they just haven't pitched him that much. Honestly, like 19 innings pitched, that's still decent. But he has yet to come in. He only has one save. Usually, the Cardinals go to like John Hicks, John Brebbia out of the pen. They've been going to those guys quite a bit compared to, or Jordan Hicks, not John Hicks. Sorry, Jordan Hicks out of the pen instead of Andrew Miller. And honestly, like, I don't see why they wouldn't. Andrew Miller is just not the player he used to be. He's getting older. He's not as effective as he once was. His slider used to be one of probably the best slider in the game. In MLB The Show, it's a really good slider. He is a really good card. I had him on my team, like I said, for a while. I really enjoyed using him, but I decided to quick sell him, bought Josh Hader to go towards more collections. I think Andrew Miller is going to end up going down to a gold if there is one player. I haven't seen too much about anyone else that could be diamond to go down. Noah Syndergaard hasn't done amazingly this year, but he is kind of playing a little better lately, and so is Chris Bryant, so I'm not quite sure if there's any other player that could go down. I'm pretty sure every update so far this year, there's been one player to go from a diamond to a gold, and one player from a gold to a diamond, so either way, there's probably going to be one person to go down, and I think Andrew Miller gets the nod this time. I like Andrew Miller. I think he's a really good reliever. He's had a really good career, but like I said, he's just getting older. He's not as effective as he once was. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to conclude this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Like I said, hopefully my next video will have my mic, my new Blue Yeti mic that I got. Hopefully that is. Either way, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one.
Get set, go, take off.